So in this lecture we will see onboard communication interfaces. So already we know that what is onboard and what is offboard. So in onboard we'll have I2C, SPI, UART and some more interfaces like one wire interface and parallel interface. So actually what is meant by onboard? Onboard is nothing but onboard interface refers to the different communication channels or buses for interconnecting the various ICs and other peripherals within the embedded system. So within the embedded system we'll have different types of ICs and some other peripheral devices. So to provide the connection between these ICs and peripheral devices, so that we will call as onboard communication interfaces. So in one single board you will have some different ICs and different peripheral devices. So for ICs and that peripheral devices you will have some interconnections to transfer the data or to work some other principles. So that is nothing but the onboard communication interface. So in only single board how you are communicating the data or anything. So in this we will see what is I2C, or we will call it I2C. So I2C interface is nothing but integrated circuit. So we will call it I2C or I2C. So what is it? It is a synchronous bidirectional off-duplex two-wire serial bus which provides communication link between ICs. So already we know what is the onboard communication interface, nothing but it will give the interconnection between ICs. So this I2C is nothing but it will give the communication link between different ICs. So it is developed to provide an easy way of connection between a microcontroller system and peripheral devices, television sets. So in TVs we will see some controllers and some other small devices. So it will give the connection between these two controllers and peripheral devices. So we call as I2C is a protocol for sending and receiving data between ICs. So in between ICs you will have some information transmitting and receiving. So we will provide this information by using this I2C. So see here, this is master and this is slave, and you have clock signal and data signal. So by this SCL and HDA, from this SCL we will provide clock signal, from this HDA we will provide data line. So see here, SCL is nothing but serial clock line and HDA is nothing but serial data line. So this is I2C or I2C. So next we will see what is SPI. So SPI is nothing but serial peripheral interface. So this is also commonly used in the transferring of data from controllers to other peripheral devices. So for that examples are some shift registers or sensors or HD cards. So it uses separate clock and data lines along with a select line to choose the device you wish to talk. So it will have some separate clock signals and separate data lines. So SPI was developed by Motorola to provide full duplex synchronous serial communication between master and slave devices. So already we have seen the master and slave devices. So here this is the interfacing. This is master and these are slaves. So for each and every master or slave we will have some devices. So in this master, so a standard SPI connection involves a master connected to slaves. So master and slave will have some connections using the serial clock. So this serial clock is used to generate the clock pulses. So this is MOSI is nothing but master out slave in. So master will be out and slave will be input for this, and master in slave out. So this is input, master in slave out. So this is output, this is the input. The data will be transferring like this, and slave select. So this is SS0, SS1, SS2 are nothing but the selection of different slaves. So we'll have here 3 slaves. So SS0, SS1, SS2 will have different slaves. So this SS0 will be connected to first one, SS1 second one, SS2 is connected to third one. So this is the way of communicating of SPI interface. So another we have UART. So already we have discussed in the last class what is UART. UART is nothing but universal asynchronous receiver and transmitter. So this is not a communication protocol like SPI and I2C, but this is also one physical circuit in the microcontroller IC. So UART main purpose is to transmit and receive serial data. So this UART same as this is also an onboard communication, but it is used to transmit and receive the serial data. So in UART, two UARTs communicate directly with each other. So here we have two UART1 and UART2. It will communicate each other. So this is transmitting and this is receiving. TX is transmitting, RX is receiving. So the transmitting UART converts parallel data from a controlling device like a CPU into serial form. So from CPU, it will convert to parallel data from serial data, transmits it in serial to the receiving UART. So we'll have some receiving data, already we have seen here receiving and transmitting data, which then converts the serial data back into parallel data for the receiving devices. So here only two wires are needed to transmit data between the two UARTs. So here we need only two wire connections to transmit and receive the data. Data flow from the TX pin of the transmitting UART to the RX pin of the receiving 20. So this TX pin and this is RX pin. So this is the transmitting data and this is the receiving data. We have only two wires to transfer the data here. So next, UART transmits data asynchronously. So already in the last class we have seen what is asynchronously and what is synchronous and what is asynchronous, difference between synchronous and asynchronous. So what UART will do? So UART transmits data asynchronously, which means there is no clock signal to synchronize the output of bits from the transmitting UART to the sampling of bits by the receiving UART. So what it will do, instead of a clock signal, so here we don't have any clock signal in asynchronous. So what it will do, instead of a clock signal, the transmitting UART adds start and stop bits to the data packet being transferred. So already we have discussed what is the stop and what is the stop bit and start bit in the last class. So we will have some sender and receiver, the direction of data flow in the synchronous and asynchronous transmission we have discussed in the last class. So here we will have start bit and stop bits. So UART transmitted data is organized in the packets. So it will be already we have discussed in the previous classes. You will divide 88 bits and you will have some start bit and stop bit for asynchronous, whereas for synchronous directly the packets will be of 88 bits. So in this UART transmitted data is organized in the packets. Each packet contains one start bit. So this is one start bit, 5 to 9 data bits. So here you will have from 5 to 9 data bits. So depending on the UART form, and optional parity bit and 1 to 2 stop bits will have here. So one parity bit will be optional. So parity bit already we know how to check the parity, even parity and odd parity. So this is a way of stop bit and start bit and some data bits in the UART. So these are the onboard communication interfaces. So in the next class we will see external communication interfaces.